This week on the Organized Life podcast.
I love what the way you put it is intentional choices.
Yeah.
Also to understand, first, we have 100% control of all of our thinking. 100% control is not, maybe 85%, no, 100% control of our own thinking. And we can always set intention and to make a choice. And most people feel like I cannot make that choice because when things out of my control happens, I'm going to be feeling sad. I'm going to be feeling angry and whatever. Like you drive on the side of the road, or you're driving and somebody cut you off. What
hmm
most people would do, immediate reaction of either fear or anger. Nothing wrong with that. But when we realize in that very moment, we don't have to let that fear or anger control the rest of our day or even the next 5 minutes.
Hey, and welcome to the Organized Life podcast, where we are creating a movement with powerful organizing strategies and systems that save you space, time, energy, and money. I am your host, Tequila Renee, professional organizer, the life organizing strategist, and the owner of Extreme Audacity Organized Solutions. And I am super excited once again today to continue on this journey with you guys to creating the organized life. The journey, not just about our physical space and getting those in order, but how we live the life that we are wanting to create. How are we living into it to create peace, productivity that actually pushes us towards our purpose? So today I am joined by Lin. Lin, first of all, could you please tell us how to pronounce your last name? I was about to butcher it, but listen, I figured we'd be better off with letting you tell us how to pronounce it, and then we'll go from there.
That is a beautiful strategy, Tequila. And my last name pronounced Yuan-Su.
One, two.
Yuan-Su. There you go. You got it.
Awesome. So Lynn is a mindset trainer and strategist. She's the founder of Enlightened Success Institute. Welcome once again, Lynn. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to have this conversation.
Yes, we were already talking about organization before we got on here, you guys. So this is going to be great. So, for those of us that have never met you before, haven't heard about you, would you please share a little bit about yourself outside of what I just said? But where are you headed on this journey right now? And how did you become this mindset trainer and strategist and the founder of Enlightened Success Institute?
Well, I didn't start it as a mindset trainer. I didn't even know what the heck that was.
Right.
Well, I was just like a lot of people, went to college. I studied nutrition. I actually has a master degree in nutrition. I worked as a registered dietitian in healthcare here in
Mm,
Canada. That's where I lived for 8 years and thinking this is it, right? You go to college, you study something, you major in something, and if you did more than undergrad, yeah, you do that for the rest of your life. You don't
right.
change. But the thing for me was that from the very beginning, when I loved what I studied because I love food, like I love food.
Ah,
So, and I'm always curious of what happens after you eat it. So it's the combination of food, passion for food, and passion for human body, medicine. I enjoy what I study, but I did not enjoy my career as a registered dietitian because I felt like
mm,
I feel like I have more. I want to make a more positive and meaningful impact, but I was not doing that within healthcare as a registered dietitian. So, and but again, I didn't know what else to do other than to either do more education, which I was like, I think I'm done, or
right.
do more education and become a physician and a doctor to fulfill my ego. But I
Mm,
stuck in that kind of limbo within healthcare for 8 years to the point I was so burned out. I was not passionate about what I was doing. I was not having fun at all. And I was literally crying in an empty parking lot at my previous workplace. Not because it's a bad place to work at or anything like that, because I was not fulfilled and I was not willing to honor that part of me that was ready to move on because of fear. Because you cannot let go of a good career that pays well and that has benefit and pension, all of that stuff. But that crying instant pushed me into a place where I made a decision to say, I got to change. Something got to change. I don't care. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
It was just, I'm open for something different. And that is when, when you're open, the universe always sends you messages. When you're open, you're ready to hear those messages.
Yes.
And that's where I start to dive into personal development, start to understand the power of our thinking, start to really think outside of the box I lived for so many years, not just those 8 years of working in that career, but years before in education, growing up. That's what out of love, your people love you to tell you, this is what you do.
Right.
So eventually I left my career as a registered dietitian. This is coming up, 80 years ago. And I started my own journey as a life coach. And eventually, what I realized my passion is to support other entrepreneurs to build a successful business within a shorter period of time through understanding of their own mindset and implementing strategy that is fit for them, not just a cookie cutter. So yeah, that's my journey of how I became a mindset trainer and strategist.
You said so many good things that it just coincides with like my journey and the things that I talk about here on the Organized Life podcast. Listen, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would be a professional organizer, even being on a podcast, let alone hosting a podcast, I would be like, there's no way, right?
Right.
But you talk about creating a strategy and systems that work for you. I tell my clients that all the time. We have all the social media things, all the reels and the TikToks and things, and it's like, no, okay, those are cute, but don't go out buying all that stuff. You don't know if that's gonna work for you. You got to figure out what's gonna actually work for you, and so I love how you said that, making sure that it works for you. So you talk about the mindset. It comes before strategy.
Right.
Why is it impossible to get organized, maintain organization if our thinking isn't organized first?
There is a formula. It's called a result formula. It is the golden standard for our life. So it's actually very simple. Anybody can literally write it down right now. If you just put a line and put 4 space in this line, the first space is your thinking, your thoughts. We have thoughts 24/7. As long as we're breathing, our brain is active, is thinking about something. Most of it is in our subconscious. We don't know what's going on. That's why people think, I'm not thinking when I'm sleeping, but you are. You just don't know. You don't have conscious awareness of that. And then every single thoughts will lead into a feeling. We feel sad, we feel happy, we feel motivated, we feel organized. All of that is coming from our thinking. And our feeling, from those feelings, that leads us into taking actions. And those actions, whether they feels like stressful or messy, or they feel like organized and flow, it is all come down to it, is coming from our thinking. Eventually our actions leads into our results in life. That is how simple it is for us to have a life. So when you look at an organized life from the surface, your sock drawer, your closet, your living room space, and all of that is coming from it kind of like it's a reflection of what is going on in your mind. So an organized space actually helps you to have an organized mind, and vice versa. If you when you start with the intention of I'm going to organize my life, people think, oh, I got to start from outside first. That is one strategy. But if you don't address your thinking, that's why some people just like New Year's resolution, I'm going to organize all of my sock drawers. And they do that. It's good for like 2 weeks. And before even February hits, they look at their drawers like, huh, it went back exactly what it was in December.
Yeah.
And that is because they don't realize is the way they think created this result. So it's so important for us to have the awareness of what the way we're thinking and our reality. And very importantly, I always say this, I cannot say this enough, is it's not coming from judgment. It's never to look at your drawers like, oh, damn it, my socks are so messy. That means my mind is messy. No, do not ever judge yourself. It is about awareness. It is about to give yourself, if anything, grace to say, hey, okay, now I have this new level of awareness. Then I can really have long lasting, ongoing, organized sock drawers.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. You like when I go into clients' houses and help them to get organized, one of the first things I do is look at how they're already living. Right? So, not going in to judge, not going in to change everything, but just to look to see how they're already living, how what things are actually working for them already. And we're going to do more of that. We're going to make that work for them and then see how we can incorporate other things to work for them in that aspect. So I love how you said that. I often talk about self-awareness too. That's one of the biggest things when you're trying to get organized. I was just on a podcast and they asked me what was one of my biggest tips or one of the biggest things that people need to know when they're trying to get organized. You got to be self-aware, right? If you don't know where you are, if you don't know what's going on in your life, how can you fix it? How can you make a difference? So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say that's something very often is a fear. People just like get stuck in the fear mode. Oh, my house is too messy. I cannot admit this to anybody else, let alone to ask support for a professional. And that's why I think it's so important to know that the professional you're going to be working with, such as yourself, you coming in with this non-judgment is just like I'm here to do a work. You wouldn't, and nobody would hire you if you walk in, their house is sparkly clean, everything's nice. You wouldn't have a work to do. But the people who are willing have the courage to say, you know what? It's a mess here and I need some help. Those people are on the verge of really expanding their life because they're willing to step out of their comfort zone. So this is a little tangent, but it's so important to recognize the courage it takes.
It's perfect because as I go into clients' homes, they always think their home is the worst. They always think they're always afraid to let me come in and see. They're just super self-conscious about it. So that's perfect because that's the way it is. They're afraid and they get overwhelmed. That's when they call me. And they don't even they care, but they're like, okay, I can't care anymore about what it looks like. I just got to get some help.
Exactly. Their willingness to invite somebody to ask for help, to support is so much more powerful in their thinking, in terms of thinking mindset and energy, compared to their fear of I cannot let anybody know how messy my house is. So, and that is really every single successful person. Nobody goes through a life. No one. I guarantee you, no one goes through life. It's all smooth. It's all organized. It's all pretty. We all go through a journey in our own way of facing challenges, of doing things messy, of making mistakes and yet highly successful people, their quality is that they're willing to face failures, face whatever they didn't do well or wrong even,
Mm-hmm.
and to say, it is what it is. And I'm giving myself grace and I'm willing to ask for help.
Yeah, that's great. So you was talking about the unconsciousness of us, and we are unconscious about most of our thoughts, right?
Right.
So from your perspective, how does someone know when they're operating from unconscious patterns instead of intentional choices?
I love what the way you put it is intentional choices.
Yeah.
Also, to understand, first, we have 100% control of all of our thinking. 100% control is not, maybe 85%, no, 100% control of our own thinking. And we can always set intention and to make a choice. And most people feel like I cannot make that choice because when things out of my control happens, I'm going to be feeling sad. I'm going to be feeling angry and whatever. Like you drive on the side of the road, or you're driving and somebody cut you off. What
Mm-hmm.
most people would do, immediate reaction of either fear or anger. Nothing wrong with that. But when we realize in that very moment, we don't have to let that fear or anger control the rest of our day or even the rest of the next 5 minutes. We can change the way we're thinking and to choose to set a new intention instead of, I'm going to give that person a piece of my mind. And then you start like literally a highway chase or whatever crazy things going on. You can say, oh, whatever, make up story. Maybe that person really needs to go home and go to the bathroom. I don't know. Is give yourself grace because why? At the end of the day, it is your own emotion that is being affected. That's how you feel is being affected. Would you rather to choose to stay in anger or the fear of, oh, I almost got into a car accident for the rest of the day? Or would you choose to say, oh, that I'm so glad that nothing happened. I'm safe, they're safe, whatever. And I can carry on with my day with the best intention I can. So
Yeah.
when we realize the power of that, I was just talking with a client this morning, actually. She reached out to me on Saturday, but I didn't check my work phone. And we got a chance to talk this morning. And she said, I'm so glad you didn't call me on Saturday because whatever she was going through, she had enough mindset training in her to realize she didn't need me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. I wanted to allow people the space of growing their own awareness to the point to say, I can make a different choice. Whatever challenges life is filled with all kinds of events and activities and stuff and situations. We can get in the kind of we can get stuck in our
Mm-hmm.
own mind with anger, with negative thoughts. It's not about to never have negative thoughts. It's about to have them and then realize you are having them. At the
Mm.
same time, realizing you can make a different choice. So you can feel better because that this client she put it so brilliantly, and I was celebrating with her, and yet we all have that choice. We can all make that choice. We can all have enough awareness and enough training. By all means, it's not easy stuff. Even though it is
Yeah.
very simple, it takes training. Just like you want to run a marathon, you don't just like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go run a marathon. It takes a lot of training. But
Right.
once you've done the training, then you become somebody who can really master your have the awareness of your own mindset. So you can create a life that's filled with more and more and more of the emotions and the result of the things you want, rather than, yeah, that happened again. Look at that. And the nay, nay, nay. Again, nothing wrong with that. It's just about awareness.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on my my response to the car drivers, now that you mentioned it, that are cutting
Yeah,
me off.
yes, yes. Um,
Because
literally,
I'm one of those ones that do not have good thoughts. Okay, Lynn, it's not good thoughts.
up until now, literally,
Up until now.
this is a strategy I started using years ago, way before I became aware of the power of a mind, all that stuff. Because I just realized I don't know those people, nor that I want to get into an argument with them. So I start making up stories. Literally, oh, they must be having a diarrhea. They need to go
Yeah.
home like right now. So I realized once I do that, I literally giggle at the beginning. It was like, oh, they need to go to the bathroom. It
Yeah. Oh,
helps
that's
me a
so
lot.
funny. I mean, I can see that. That's so funny. Oh, that good. I'm trying to move on. Okay. So listen, in my work, you were just talking about fear, but a lot of time fear shows up in clutter. It
Mm,
shows up in our wasting of time, our need for doing things later, for the fear of disappointment for someone, right? I don't want to get rid of this thing because my mom gave it to me.
mm,
How does fear quietly drive both our environment and our business decisions? I am one that I believe that fear has driven my business decisions for many years. And so now I'm on a journey to kind of overcome that and just really conquer that.
right, right. All of our human thoughts can be either classified into either is driven by fear or it is driven by love. And we
Mm,
can all in generalize all of our thinking. If you're thinking anger, even though anger it does not coming from fear, but it's driven by fear, like road rage for an example is because you're afraid of getting into a car accident and getting hurt. That's still a
mhm.
fear. And when we come from compassion, oh, that person really needs to go to the bathroom, so I can forgive.
Right.
And that's coming from human compassion, because most likely we'll be into those moments where we really get to somewhere and we maybe didn't pay attention or whatever. So this is a perfect example of whether our thoughts is coming from fear or love. We have 100% control and making this intentional choice of allowing ourselves to train your own mind to come more and more from love instead of fear, because more fearful thoughts is going to drive into you're going to feel fearful, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's going to drive your action. You're going to take action coming from this fearful state, and that is going to create more of fearful results.
Yeah.
Versus love, you come from could be exactly the same action, yet you're coming from a space of love and grace and kindness, and then from that space you feel different, and then you take the same, could be the same action, looking at your sock drawer, organizing it. You're coming from fear, is going to go back to the same result, you're going back to the same cycle. Versus you're coming from love, I would love to have an organized sock drawers and get rid of the 10 pairs that has holes underneath them. I'm still holding on, trying to make a sock puppet, whatever. And then you can say, okay, I can let them go now. And that create a brand new result that is operating from very different energetic space. So yeah, this is as simple it is.
Yeah.
To live it is, for anybody, is the hardest work. It can be done, but it can be done. It can.
Yeah. Lane, you keep bringing up socks. Is your sock drawer organized?
Let me think. It's relatively. There are a few pairs. There has been there I haven't touched yet. But they're neatly tucked at the back. Maybe this is my sign to look at them to say, okay, maybe
Look at the
they're
sock
gonna be,
drawer, Lynn.
yeah, they're gonna be donated and get allow the energy to flow.
Yeah, that's funny. When you think about the organized life, you kind of heard me in the introduction. Tell me what that looks like to you. What do you see when you think about creating the organized life for yourself? Maybe even like helping your clients to create the organized life. What does that look like, or feel like, or mean to you?
Right. It feels free. It
Mm,
feels this energy flow. As you feel you might have, let's say, a bookshelf that are filled with lots and lots of books, and they're organized. Organized in the way that makes sense for you. When you look at that, you feel this feeling of, oh, this
yes.
is awesome. This is great. That is a feeling of love.
Uh,
And that is structure. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Whether they are
mm,
physical tandem socks or they are energy as love and money. Money is currency, currency is energy, or time. All of
mm,
this is energy. People very often ask, oh, I want to, because I work with a lot of high achievers. So they are like, I'm going to work harder and I don't have enough time. And then the first realization I bring to them is nobody can manage time. Every single person, it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, President Obama or you are Oprah Winfrey, you have 24 hours a day. Nobody
yeah.
has more or less of that time. We can only organize our activities accordingly. So when you look at an organized life, to me, one aspect that is your calendar, because
Yeah.
your calendar holds the structure of where your energy is going to go. That's why very often people say, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. My next question is always, is that on your calendar yet?
Yes.
Not to say this, like, okay, you got to be honest with yourself. If you're going to go, work out, you say you're going to work out 3 times a week. Where are they on your calendar? Oh, I'll do it whenever it happens. Oh, okay.
Not gonna
most
happen. Not gonna happen.
most likely it won't happen.
Yes.
And so an organized life is this place where I believe everything starts in your imagination. It's not about, oh, when I have an organized calendar or a sock drawer, I will feel free and organized. It's actually the other way around. You start
Yes.
with a feeling of, all right, let me imagine my sock
Yes.
drawers are all organized and they're color coordinated, they're functional coordinated, and my calendar is all organized. You start from that space because that space is a space of love. And
Yes.
then you start to organize your sock drawer. That action produce a long-lasting flow of energy. So organized life is a place of free flow and this calm confidence. So that
And
is,
love.
yeah, that is from here.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was at a party on Saturday and so every time somebody realizes what I do, I get all the questions right. And so she was like, what's your biggest tip? I mean, like your most important tip. And it was like, organize your calendar.
Mm,
Like, get your calendar together. That's how you're going to get your life together. Because if we organize your space and your calendar isn't organized, you're not managing your time right, your space is going to be back the way that it started beforehand. Because people think that once I get organized, it's just going to magically stay that way. And one of my slogans is it's a lifestyle, not magic. Because you have to maintain it. You got to put the work into it. Just like you maintain your physical body when you're getting in shape, just like you maintain your car, your health, you have to maintain the organization that was created. So that's my biggest tip. And I'm going to change it in my workbook. Like I'm putting it at the top. It's in there, but it's like if you don't have that time management, your schedule, if you're not saying yes to the right things and saying no to the things that aren't pushing you towards purpose, you're gonna be back where you started. So I love that we talk about the same things. It's just so awesome.
Absolutely. And to know what things to say yes and to say no to is all coming from awareness. Because
Right.
remember, we go back to what we're talking about, our subconscious. Most of our thinking is in our subconscious. It's called subconscious because we don't have conscious awareness of what's happening unless we are very intentionally just driven by this place of, yeah, I would love to have my space. Now I have with some professional help, my sock drawers are finally organized. And what am I going to do to maintain that? What I'm going to do, what new beliefs you're going to implement to maintain that? Because otherwise, like you said, everything's just going to go back to the same old, same old. Once you are realizing, oh, my friends are inviting me every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go out for a party, whatever. I'm not saying ditch your friends to do not party. It's just like
Right.
realizing what you would love. If you would
Your
love that,
capacity.
right, exactly. If you realize, you know what, I've been noticing I feel like a drag to go to those things all the time, then have the courage to simply say no and to put the time into things that
Mhm.
really matters for you. That is really when you have an organized life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you look at high performing women, especially entrepreneurs, a lot of us we struggle with the just in case because that's me. I am my ideal client, high performing woman, entrepreneur, it's so ironic when I broke down my ideal client with my coach, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's like literally a reflection of myself. We struggle with like the just in case mindset or, what if? How does that mentality it block our growth, our physical organization, creating the organized life? How does it block that?
It again, that just in case very often is coming from fear.
Yeah.
I'll keep this thing just in case I'll need it. I don't know if I'll need it. Just in case, and that is coming from a fear. We're afraid of when we need it, we don't have that. So it's come back to the same things to realize, oh, noticing what you're noticing that you want to hold on to something. It's you know what? I have this that the paper is yellow.
Mm.
And I finished this a long time ago. It's just notes. I write notes when I see clients, and I've had the intention of throwing this out for a few weeks. Now here I'm going to do this. It's in the recycling bin.
Uh,
My mind is in my subconscious is operating from fear and in the whispering, just in case there are some important notes in it. If I
yeah.
haven't touched that thing for months, most likely the notes in it is already long gone and not
Yes.
applicable. So it's just to realize that and to have the courage. It's not about, I don't believe to kill fear or to get fear is part of our DNA.
Yes.
It's there to protect us. I don't believe in getting rid of fear or kill fear or kick it, or that's part of you. Just be nice and kind to all parts of you. So when you notice, oh, I cannot let this go because I'm so afraid, take a deep breath
Hmm.
and just simply to say, no, would I actually use it? If I believe as an organized professional, when you support others in those moments, you're going to have a conversation with them. It's like, how long you haven't used them, and they realize, oh, I haven't touched them for 3 years. Are you really going to use it?
Right. Yeah.
Probably not. And then but when you take one step, even with fear, that is when you grow your courage. The stronger
Mm.
your courage, the less of an impact fear will have for you. So it's start with a pair of socks you don't want, but
No
you're
socks
like,
again.
socks again, or whatever. So things you, oh, just see, what if I'll use it? And okay, have this exercise because you start with something less insignificant, but
Mm-hmm.
that behavior is going to grow your courage. And then when you
Yeah.
look at more, my mom gave me, or my grandma passed this on to me, and I cannot let it go. But then you will have more courage to really, I'm not saying get rid of everything grandma gives you. No, it's not
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is to realize what things really you would love to keep, and what are the things that you would love to let go. And
Mm-hmm.
you will be amazed by when you really allow this organization to come into your mind and into your life,
Mm-hmm.
the flow it creates. One of my clients, she is, that's one of the things we worked on for a while, is that she kept a lot of the things from her mom who had passed on, and she
Mm-hmm.
felt like I couldn't let go any of those things because I love my mom. And and then as we worked together, she had enough courage to say, okay, I'm going to look at one part of her basement that filled with a lot of things that her mom gave her. And then she had her very first garage sale in her entire, she's in her 70s, and she had that garage sale. And literally right after that garage sale, she had investment that she had forgot about, and the money just came in. She was like, wow, look at that. Is that coincidence? There's no such thing as coincidence.
No,
And this
no.
is the power when, and for myself, same thing. Very often I was like, okay, this part of my closet is getting a little cluttered. And let me really just pull out the things that I thought, just in case one day I'll fit back into it.
Right.
This is from 20 years ago, and I have had 2 kids already. And I'm willing to allow it to serve the next person that is going to serve. And almost every single time I can, literally within few days, there's either a new client inquiry, or different opportunities showing up. This is life. This is energy. It flows. You got to
Yeah,
allow it to flow.
the law of reciprocity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
You talked about so many good things. Starting small. Yeah, stocks are actually a great place to start.
Yes, they're
I,
small.
I actually tell my clients, especially the ones that I work with virtually, to start small. Start with the nightstand. Start with anything but the whole house. I just released a meme that I created last year. It came back in my history, and it was actually a reel, and it talked about how don't try to organize the whole house at one time. Like, it's so funny that people will be laying on the clothes that they thought they were going to have completed by the end of the day, right? So now they have to sleep with them, and your husband has to sleep on the couch or something. So,
Yes.
uh, but we keep talking about fear, and they say that courage is having fear and doing the thing anyway, right? So, yeah, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway. So that's courage. What do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
People look at me. I'm a public speaker. I'm a keynote speaker, and people just like, "Wow, that's so amazing." You don't you have any stage fright or whatever? Yeah, it's there, but it's not to the point where my knees would be shaking. But I experienced that when I was first year in college. I got involved with this student club, and I don't even know, I didn't even know how it happened. I became the first year representative. I couldn't even pronounce representative back then because I'm an international student. English is my second language, but I
Yeah.
had enough courage. My job was to make announcement for what's happening with the club and what
uh,
activities in front of all first year students. So I actually practiced that announcement for a good an hour the night before, because I was so afraid I would screw up. English is not my first language. I didn't
yeah.
even understand half the activities. Why are you going to a hot dog event? Like, what is a hot dog? Like, that was, but I give myself the time to practice. So when I stood on that stage right in front of my peers, I barely finished whatever is on that piece of paper. And that was so scary, but I did it. I probably didn't do a very good job either because my
But you
voice
did.
probably was, but I did it. I did. That grow my courage. And after my first year, I was much more confident to speak in front of a group of audience. So this is just everybody can do it. Everybody
Yeah.
can do it if you have enough courage to do the things you're afraid of. Just enough courage to do it anyway. Do it
Mm-hmm.
anyway. Fear, we all have fear. The how to get rid of fear or to not have fear control your life is to actually focus on what you would love.
Yeah.
That reason why you're doing for me is like, oh, I'm so honored to be selected as this first year representative, and I want to do a one heck of a good job. So I
Mm-hmm.
was willing to do the work it takes and to overcome that fear, even though I was afraid, but I did it anyway. Everybody, this is the same thing. It works every single time. So start with sock drawer.
Start with the sock drawer, you guys, okay? Lynn, so we're gonna flip the mic just for a little bit for one question. What is something that you would like to ask a professional organizer if you had the opportunity?
Ooh. When would be an opportunity for anyone to be working with an organizational professional?
Yeah. Um, the best, I guess, if you think about like when it comes to your health or even anything like your car maintenance, when you realize you don't have the capacity to actually complete the task, right? So most of my clients call me when they've gotten overwhelmed. They're like, there's no way I can do this. And when I go in, I can see inklings of where they tried. You can see they have containers. You can see they have systems in place that aren't working for them anymore. So once you are self aware and you realize that you don't have the capacity to do it, that's when most people call. But I would say when you just are being self aware and you want to get help before you reach capacity, that's
Right.
also a great time to get help from a professional.
So would be some of the, if you would,
Yeah.
signs and symptoms of where you probably want to reach out to a organized professional?
Yeah. When you've when you've tried, like you've put things in place, or your time just won't allow, right, you to have the space that you dreamed of, that you desire. That's another big one. A lot of high performing individuals, they really just don't have the time to do what it takes to get organized in the amount of time that they would like to get it done, right? I need to have this done before my birthday or before Christmas or whatever. Let me hire somebody, right? If you want your house to have to be interiorly designed, you just call the interior designer. You don't try to do all of it yourself. If you know, I'm not interested in painting, I'm not interested in finding art, all these things, I'm not interested in finding countertops, right? So it's a lot that goes into working with me, um, that I do for the clients, finding containers, finding measuring shelves, finding the right organizing supplies for your space. So it makes it a lot easier on them.
Right.
Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
awesome. So thank you. That was fun. Um, if someone realized that their clutter and chaos is rooted in their belief system, what are some practical steps to rewiring those beliefs without self criticism? I think you touched on this a little bit, but what are, like, we can be very critical of ourselves. What are
Right.
some ways that, some practical ways that we can rewire our beliefs?
It's the first thing I would say is to notice your own thoughts.
Mm.
This is to expand our subconsciousness. Those self-criticizing thoughts, they might be from, grade two, Mrs. Smith, just that's the way she is. Yet ever since then, we have adopted this belief or whatever it is, however we adopted those self-criticizing, especially for high performers, because very often high performers are very competitive as well. So that part of it is self-criticizing, self-judgment, is to notice those thoughts, to realize that, part of me is, I'm actually thinking about how bad things are or how messy my desk is or my sock drawer is. To notice those thoughts. And that's the first step. It's awareness. If you're not aware, nothing is going to change. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
You are aware, that is the starting of all possibility.
Yes.
So the second step, I would say, is to, once you're aware of those things, your own thoughts, is to grow your love. It is if you notice you're criticizing yourself instead of saying, "Oh, damn it, I'm like you criticize even more of your own thinking. Is all right, I love myself. It's not coming from this egocentric space. It's coming from this true, I would call it a spiritual place of love.
Yeah.
I truly believe that's our truth. And we take a deep breath and knowing that we're being breathed. I believe there is a higher power. Call it God, call it divine, call it universe. We're being breathed. We cannot breathe ourselves. If we're given this day of life, then how about we give ourselves some grace and some kindness and some love? And then from this space, the next question I would say is to ask yourself, in this very moment, what do you really want? What do you want to see in your future? Have that in your imagination. Going back to the sock drawers. If you're just like, I'm noticing this is so messy and I'm not gonna criticizing myself, then you ask, what would I love? I would love to have a organized sock drawer. And then the next step, this is all just flowing through a system, is ask yourself, what can you do? For some people, it's like, okay, I'm gonna use the next 5 minutes to organize this drawer. For some people, it's, you know what, I'm gonna call Tequila and ask her to help me. But do it. Go ahead and do it. Do not give fear the opportunity to come into your mind and hold you back. That's when procrastination happens. That's when self-sabotage happens. When you have an idea has so much love. And I would love to talk with a life organizing strategist. I don't even know who she is, what she does, but I feel so open to talk. Go talk to her. I mean, she's so nice. She won't bite.
Yeah.
Very often we're like, oh, what if I cannot afford her, whatever. Okay. Yeah, everybody has those thoughts, but
the fear.
Exactly. But until you talk to her, you don't even know what services she offers. You don't even know. And we fear is FEAR. False evidence appears real. We make up those stories. At one point, one of my light fixtures in my master ensuite was off, and we tried to change the light bulb. It just wouldn't turn on. And I created, out of fear, it's going to be a $20,000 whole house rewiring, because I just made it up. I just like, oh, because the wiring must be going off. I'm not an electrician. I don't know, but I made up that story. But because of that, I did not have it looked at forever, until one point I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm going to do something about it. I took a picture. I sent it to an electrician. I'm like, I'm willing to spend $20,000 to have my entire house rewired, which is a story that is false and is made up from my own fear. And the guy is like, oh yeah, you need a new light fixture. If you get a new light fixture, I'll come in to change it up. We got a new light fixture and my husband changed it up. And he did it himself. It's perfectly working ever since. And then I realized it's not It's not even $300 to get the new light fixture.
That's so funny.
And my husband worked for free. And we
Yeah,
didn't get the professional electrician to come in. So
yeah.
this is when we're willing to do something, you will be amazed. You'll be amazed by how sometimes even silly our own fear can make up vivid stories. There's a monster in the closet.
Right. Yeah. That's funny. Lynn, you talk about the success trifecta plus systems, right? So this is going to be our last question, and we're going to get out of here because this has been great. So you teach about the success trifecta. How does that framework align with creating sustainable systems in our lives and in our business?
Right. So the success trifecta I work with is very simple. If you draw a triangle, and the very top is your mindset. Your mindset, including having awareness of what you're thinking, what I talk about, notice where noticing, and have a vision for yourself to know really what you would love to achieve rather than, and notice when your fears come in. That is 80% of your success. Whatever success means for you, enlightened success. I had a conversation with my 9-year-old the other day, not conversation, more of what I talk about things. And he just suddenly said, "Isn't that what enlightened success is?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you." Because enlightened success is you have the result you will love in all areas of your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your organized life, whether it's your thriving business or career, whether it's millions of dollars in your bank account, whatever you will love. And that is all part of your own drive from your soul. But you got to know it. That is 80% of your success is coming from your mindset. From that place, then you implement strategy. And from your strategy, you take actions. That is creates this powerful flow. But the starting point is your mindset. Too often, especially high achievers, they just go, "What is my strategy?" That's great. Like, that's great. Nothing wrong with that. And my invitation is simply to implement, even just the awareness of how important it is for mindset to be part of your success. Because if you want long lasting, if you want your organized doors to be long lasting, you must implement mindset work.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. You guys, it's all about the mindset, okay? Right? She said it, and I believe it, and I'm going to do better with my road rage after today. Thank you so much, Lynn, for being here and giving us so much to think about. It's been awesome. Would you please tell the Organized Life listeners, give them a final thought, your final words of wisdom, and then just tell us where we can find you and to learn more about your work?
Thank you so much, Tequila. In this moment, what's coming through is that we are all collectively human race. I live in Canada, you live in the United States, and doesn't matter where you are on the planet Earth. I truly believe we're going through a very incredible transformation for the very best. Despite what is happening, some of the things that appears to be horrible. And I truly believe we're going through this together to make this world all better. And that starts with you. So in this moment, take a breath. Just really remind yourself you have a gift of life right now, and be kinder to yourself. Give yourself more grace and give yourself more love. And from that space, then we can give more kindness, grace, love for each other. That is where we can attract more good, more abundance, whether it's health, whether it's organized stock drawers, whether it's more money. It is all coming from that space. How to find me? My name is actually quite unique. So Lin Yuan-Su, that is my full name. Look it up on Instagram. You will see my face. And I would love any opportunity I can have to support others. Whether it's for us to work together or not, it doesn't matter. I believe Tequila works the same way. It's like, if you have the urge or the calling to say, "I'm curious about this person," please honor that to reach out. I know Tequila is the same way, because I feel her vibe is, we're not here to get money. We are here because we are passionate about doing what we do. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
Tequila's previous career, my previous career, we wouldn't leave that if we don't love what we do. So give us the opportunity, if you feel called, to even just have a conversation, a meet and greet, whatever. You never know where that's going to take you. It's for yourself. It's for your best organized life.
So good. Thank you. I love what you just said. Honor yourself and make the call. Honor yourself and connect. That's so good. Yeah, thank you again, Lynn, for being here. It was such an honor having you here. I appreciate your all your thoughts, words of wisdom that you've given to us on today.
And thank you so much for having me on your show. I love the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, you guys, it's the end of our time with Lynn today, but just remember that if whatever system or strategy you're creating is not saving you space, time, energy, and money, you want to tweak it, you want to revisit it, you want to change it to where it fits your lifestyle, where it fits what you are trying to create it, okay? If you want to be a guest on the podcast, just send us an email at info@extremeaudacity.com. We'll get you into rotation. If you have a question, send us an email. Honor yourself and send that email. Okay. All right, you guys. Until next time, ciao.